Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we are back to Hearthstone. So, fourth recording of the recording session. We need to play Hunter cards. In the process of playing Hunter cards, we'll play the remaining two Battle Cry cards, and then we need to get three victories with the Shaman and Warlock. And I'd like to do all that in the next 30 minutes, and maybe I should play a Secrets deck to try and accomplish that. So I don't have a ton of things to talk about because I was rushing through the last recording, trying to finish everything, and I still didn't really finish everything. Although I could leave quite a few things off because I'm going to start talking about TV here in a second.
The light shall bring victory.
Let the hunt
Lego
begin.
Worlds. My position on why I'm probably never going to play Lego Worlds has slightly evolved. It's still the same outcome, but now the issue is they really pulled a bait and switch with Lego Worlds. They made it seem like it was going to be this open world Skyrim thing, and instead what it's become is this no, not open world Skyrim type game, more like an open world Minecraft style game. And I suppose at the end of all the single player and tutorial, you are somewhat close to that, but they've crammed a entire TT Games Lego game in there first. So you're effectively in the world of the Lego movie. Although you don't see the well, you're kind of in the universe of the Lego movie, and you go from planet to planet. But the idea of being a master builder and leveling up is in there. So there's a level up system, and collecting gold bricks are required to move forward in the tutorial section. And you're talking to characters and asking and doing quests for them, and it looks like just the most recent version of
Job's done.
say Lego Marvel Avengers or Lego Batman 3 or
You shall not
Lego
pass.
Star Wars The Complete Saga is the first game they made. It's just more of that. It's more of the same. And that's exactly the opposite of what they were saying it was. They were completely saying that there wasn't going to be a story or anything, that they were thinking about having a story and that they took it out. And it's just not what got delivered. And so now, instead of having the excuse that I was using before to say, well, there's no real story to play it now, there actually is a story to play it. But their approach in saying that there was no story seems dishonest, and I'm not happy with that concept. And that, in combination with the game's lagging on my computer, I don't know. Like, if I bought that game, there's a decent chance it would still lag on my computer. And I've seen other people play it, and it's not lagging on their computers. But does that help me? No. It doesn't help me one bit. And am I certain that the people I've seen play Lego Worlds are playing it on a PC and aren't actually playing it on a console? Well, I don't know. Is there a console version?
Watch the teeth I have.
Gonna kill this. Gonna do this. Gonna do this. So, yeah, like I said, it's not a huge change. It's just kind of, now I feel like they've been a little dishonest as to what the game was in the first place. And since I feel some dishonesty there, and I feel like TT Games don't really care about PC versions or PC games, there's some roughness. It's still, it seems like they very much just crammed one interface into another to push this game out. And not a lot of people are interested in it, it seems. Not a lot of people playing it. But Lego games in general, I guess that could be the case.
Hey, I can see my house
So,
from here.
yeah, my reasonings have changed. Maybe I will get back to it at some point. There's no real telling.
No look save.
But it's not on a high priority. Definitely not a high priority. I want to propose a new phrase and see if I was somebody like Jim Sterling, I'd make a big video out there talking about when he did the copyright deadlock thing that I don't even know if that really works or if he's just being shown something that's not true. But you know, his copyright deadlock idea is that if you get two people to claim it and one of the claimants on Content ID wants no monetization, then there will just be no monetization and no ads on your video at all, which doesn't really help unless you preemptively know you're going to get Content ID'd, which you have to be playing either maybe a Sega or a Nintendo thing. I heard Sega's pretty bad about Content ID too, although either I haven't played a Sega game yet or I've just been lucky. I may very well have not played a Sega game yet. It's not like Sega's releasing some amazingly new and interesting games lately. So, and Nintendo stuff I'm never going to cover, so I'm already solved that problem by not giving them coverage. However, WB stuff, it's kind of hard to not do WB stuff because any game with Batman in it's out, and Universal Music Group I believe is WB, and there's issues there too. And then Sony is a pain. So there's a lot of people that Content ID claim things. Well, I might win here. If he doesn't kill any of my characters and instead goes from my face.
The Brotherhood shall prevail.
How did that card magically appear? Oh, through this.
I'm in charge now.
Yeah, I don't know what he's trying to do here.
They fell off a truck.
So, Jim Sterling has the Content ID deadlock. I'd like to propose a new concept called Content ID decay, because I'm starting to see it on my videos. And let me see if I can explain this properly. It seems like on YouTube you can live stream things for no real penalty as far as Content ID. It doesn't seem like that they have any real notification or warning system like Twitter, like Twitch does, where where they say we hear content ID music. If you don't stop it real quick, we're gonna go to black and stop your video. It doesn't seem like there's anything like that. And frankly, as long as it takes content ID to process a video, it sometimes seems like it takes months, sometimes it seems like it takes days, but I've never really had anything that processes immediately and then within an hour later it has a content ID match. So from that perspective, it seems like you can completely live stream for free. And if you're doing super chat and getting money from the super chat, all that money's going to you. It's a donation. I seriously doubt anybody can claim any of that. If they could, YouTubers are going to be very upset very fast here if that turns out to be the case. Because that would be completely unfair.
Priest, the light serves me.
But after that live stream happens, now you say you have a live stream, you get 1,000 viewers, the 1,000 viewers all looked at ads, and they all had the ultimate experience where they listened to the music piece or the video piece that was going to be content ID or likely to be content ID. After that, you can have the claim show up like I said, an hour, a week, months. I'm having content IDs show up years later, and when that happens, then you can dispute it, and for that 30 days they will still show ads while the dispute is still going on. Let's see, I guess we could try a druid once, but I'm just gonna try it once because I don't think my druid deck is very good. We need to get 3 more victories with a druid or a warlock, and then we're done. So say those 30 days go by, or let's say 1 day goes by, you dispute it, the content ID claims, they reaffirm it. This is where I stop personally, and I shouldn't say this out loud, but this is really where I think a lot of people stop, is because if you reaffirm it after they've already reaffirmed it and say, no, really, you're gonna have to sue me, this really actually is fair use, or there are a few other reasons why you might dispute a content ID, like, no, really, I have written permission from the music owner, or no, really, this is my own music, I made it myself, and you have no claim at all, or even this music is not copyrightable because it's 400-year-old music, which some of that might be still copyrightable because you may have a copyright to a specific performance of the song. That was kind of what the deal with the whole Happy Birthday trying to stay in copyright, so they could charge everybody a ridiculous amount of money. But whatever the reason you dispute it, if they reaffirm their claim and say, no, your dispute's not valid, you can either say, well, I'm going to give you my information and you're going to have to sue me, and I suppose you could lie there, and then if you lied about like your name and address and things, I assume that just gets your entire YouTube channel deleted at that point. So you give them the real thing, and then maybe a sheriff will come knocking on your door with a lawsuit. Unlikely, but possibly. And so you really are opening yourself up at that point to actual legal proceedings. They don't immediately start, but you are taking the heavy gamble, and I guess that's the real part of negotiating is you've got to be willing to play chicken with them and see who's gonna blink first. But most people don't do that. So what is the other option instead of reaffirming it? Well, the other options are you leave it as it is, and the music is either blocked or the money goes to the people. I've got several videos where the money just goes to the people who are claiming it, even though it was clearly fair use. But I do try very hard to not have things blocked, because that doesn't help anybody, nor does it allow the video to be seen. Or the third option is now YouTube allows you to remove the audio, and it does a pretty crappy job of it, but it does enough to satisfy YouTube, so that's all that matters in the end, I suppose. And so then YouTube is satisfied with its crappy job usually, although it often fails too, and says we can't remove the audio. And then when they say they can't remove the audio, you've either got to leave it blocked or continue through the Content ID dispute process and potentially get sued. And that's the point. I'm too afraid to get a copyright strike on my channel, and because then I wouldn't be able to upload anything over like 10 minutes, and that doesn't work at all. Even if I had a whole year scheduled and ready to release, I'm not certain that even the videos would be released. They probably would be, but it just puts you in such a terribly dangerous position that that's just not what I want, not what anybody wants for their channel. So what I often do is I remove the music, and that's where this concept of Content ID decay as a term starts to happen. So now the people that are listening to my video with this audio that's been removed are getting less of a quality. Less quality.
For the gnomes!
I suppose at the end of the day, this is just gonna kill it anyway, so we'll just do this. So yes, from the live version where you got no editing, you are now down to a recorded version with editing, and that sucks. However, it seems like the case is that you can, through either changing who handles the Content ID music, or through just other companies claiming other things, or through just making manual claims on the video, saying something else is there, or through just adding new music that may have been in that footage but weren't actually in the Content ID system at the time. It seems like through several different ways, or the property changing hands. For example, when Disney now owns all the LucasArts things. It seems like through many, many different ways, you can get a Content ID a year later. And if you can get a Content ID a year later after the video puts out, you can get a Content ID at any time. So, let's say that same video still is of some interest to people.
I hope you like my invention.
And there's another Content ID a year later. And so then you remove the audio for that. So now two pieces of audio have been manhandled and mangled and edited very poorly to just desperately try and keep some kind of monetization on this video that's probably not even getting that many views at this point. But it's terrible either way you look at it. If you're stealing the monetization from a video that gets 1 million views, or if you're stealing the monetization of a video that gets only 10 views, I can pretty much guarantee you either way, that's going to be money that is going to be noticed by whoever put up that video. Because if PewDiePie puts up a video and it gets 10 million views and he loses all the monetization on that, he's gonna notice that. If I put up a video and it gets 10 views and I lose all of the fractions of a penny there, well, I won, so I guess I'll just keep sticking with this deck. I'm gonna notice that too. And then the end user, not the person who put up the video, but the people watching the video, they're gonna notice that the videos are not as good. And because the audio's been edited out, or maybe there's video that had to be edited out, and you can sometimes do that.
Malfurion versus
They're gonna notice the video's not as good, and a higher percentage of people are gonna stop watching it all the way through. It's gonna get suggested less and less by YouTube, and that video is on a one-way path of dying, because in part, if not completely, of Content ID. Now, old videos are always dying. That's don't exaggerate. Let's not exaggerate there, but you can really ruin. Say there was an evergreen video, something like how to build a bookcase that doesn't need to be updated. There aren't new techniques that we've learned on how to build a bookcase. But if Content ID after Content ID after Content ID is editing the audio so that you can't understand or hear the person speaking just because they had a radio on in the background, which wouldn't be fair use in the first place, but that video is gonna just get destroyed, and then somebody else is gonna make another video, and that channel's not gonna get as many views, and the video is just decaying. It's getting edited and cut, and just a death of 1,000 cuts. And I'm afraid that's what's gonna start happening a lot to videos. And it's probably a little sensational to say that it hasn't been. It's probably been happening for a long time, and people haven't noticed. But now that I'm looking at it, now that it's my videos, I'm saying, oh yeah, like I need my videos personally. That is a major part of my plan here, is with my channel, is to have my videos be still something you want to see after a short amount of time, or after a long amount of time. I want people to maybe 5 or 10 years down the line go, let's go look at Rydo's first videos. They really suck, I know, but I want somebody to actually look at that. And it's only through as much as I've done up to this point that I'm even getting the small amount of 60 cents of this past 7 days of ad revenue. It's by having thousands and thousands of videos. If it went so badly that none of my 4,000 plus videos had any views at all, then my channel's dead.
Waits for no one.
There's no chance. If I have to just make ad revenue on the newest video and my newest video only, I don't think very many YouTubers could survive that at all. It's like PewDiePie, sure, could probably still survive on that, but he would be getting considerably less money if that was the case. If he had to just survive on his newest video, it would certainly push people to be more consistent on their newest videos and do less editing, like I do, which would eventually lower the quality of their channels. And it certainly doesn't help people like animators who have to take a month to draw even like a 5-minute thing, 5-minute animation. And animators in particular are really screwed over by YouTube already. But if they could only really trust income from their newest one, of course that all has to do with Content ID. If you can just not have music, then that works too. And so that, as we move on to the next topic here, we've got about 5 minutes, and it doesn't look like we're gonna get all the victories we need to get done here. This will probably be our last game. But if I won this last game, then I guess I might also be done with our quest. A couple of things I've seen on TV. There's a new Doctor Who season has been announced, and it's about to come out in a couple of weeks. They really didn't do a lot of setup to it. Instead, deciding to wait until the season has probably already been completely recorded. Since they have footage and they were showing footage, I guess I have to assume that's the case. Let's see what happens there with this. Oops.
Job's done.
So Doctor Who is kind of like a drug dealer to me at this point. It's like, I know Doctor Who's not good. I know it's a waste of time. I know the past 3 seasons, which have been stretched out over the past 4 or 5 years, if not longer, have been long and disappointing, and in retrospect, when you watch it on Netflix, you can kind of have a good experience, but when you have to wait like half a year for a Christmas special and then half a year for the next season, and then the next season only has like 8 episodes because they're longer episodes, that doesn't really work. They've really experimented. I know Doctor Who originally was super long, like 2.5 hour episodes, just like Saturday morning movies to fill up TV time, it seems. But honestly, if they just could do a tight 20 minute, 25 minute, 22 minute thing where they, let's see. This,
I have no time for games.
and then in return,
Time waits for no one.
if this guy's actually decided to check out, yeah, I really know I shouldn't watch Doctor Who. I really know. And on top of that, I don't even think I'm supposed to have BBC America anymore, but it seems to either give me free weekends very often, or my plan changed on my TV, my cable, and so yeah, I know I shouldn't watch it, but I'm just gonna confess now, much like an addiction, I'm addicted to Doctor Who, and I think I might very well. Let's see, cost less if your opponent has at least 3 minions.
Give that minion a turn to get ready.
So yeah, as far as the trailer, not really anything super interesting other than the possibility of like more Time Lord stuff that might be interesting if they do something with this. I think they've already hinted that the next Time Lord very possibly could be a woman. I don't know if they're really just hinting towards that and then they're never going to actually do it or what. Looks like they might make a better human form Dalek that's like a Terminator 2, a metal form, liquid form creature. So that's kind of all that's interesting. Almost certainly, since they're gonna get rid of the guy who's playing the Doctor, they're probably gonna get rid of the companions. Oh man, I was supposed to be playing with the Shaman and the Warlock, not... I've been wasting my time playing this for no reason. This whole recording. Pay attention. Pay attention. The only other things I was going to talk about is I've been watching some Korean dramas on Netflix, and Nightmare High. It's pretty cool. All right, it's kind of kiddish though, so it's more for teenagers and adults. And then I'm watching one that's more for adults that I think is called Marie Antoinette, but I don't know. Nightmare High is something spooky happens, and every episode that's different. And Marie Antoinette is a psychic, a fake psychic, and a psychologist end up working together, and I just started watching that, and that's kind of that. So I've completely boned it here, and I've run out of things to talk about, so that's going to, as this is our 4th recording anyways, that's going to end this recording session. I will play Shaman and Warlock off screen and get 3 victories, hopefully very quickly, and then I'll move on to finishing up Dirt 3. Hopefully. That game is taking forever. That's it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.